What's going on, everyone? It's the Game Week 35 deadline tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. There's a Friday match, right? I should know that. I don't know that. There isn't a Friday match, so it's not the deadline tomorrow. It's the deadline on Saturday. Man City and Spurs is the early kickoff. 100% no deadline stream on Saturday. So this will be the last one till 35. Obviously, we've still got some press conferences tomorrow. A bit of news today from Watford. Otherwise, I don't know what is there to talk about. What questions do we have tonight? I mean, it can't be much, right? Brighton defenders did well last week. We all want them to play this week. There's next to no rotation. VAR is amazing. What else is there? Start again, Kev. What do you mean? What did I do wrong? Everything seems to be working right. What's up, Supersport? Looks like Andy's had a few. I'm pretty tired, if I'm honest. I've had no alcohol. 0. Went for a long walk tonight, so that's probably why I look awful. Or worse than usual. Worse than usual. Yeah, I've only got Aguero. Look, it now looks like a mistake, right? I don't want to be too Captain Hindsight, but if you watched the stream last week, I had Sterling. I changed to Aguero the next day. I had KDB at one point. Had KDB and Sterling. Had KDB and Aguero. And in the end, I went Lacazette ahead of KDB, and he didn't play any minutes, which was made more frustrating that I changed Redmond to DFA. Otherwise, I've had Redmond coming on, and I would have been loving it. But yeah, I mean, 3 City, I think. Sometimes I like to think, if there's ever a time I can get away with not having 3 City, hopefully it's after a grueling Champions League game, a game in which it could not be any more draining the way they lost that match, I would say. And then they've got 2 top 6 games, Spurs and Man United. Can they beat both? Of course. But they're going to be tough games. One's away. You wouldn't imagine the Spurs game is going to be as free-flowing because it's a league game, right? The reason that Man City Spurs game went like that, I mean, one of the reasons was because of the away goal rule. So City had to go and score all those goals. That's not going to happen in the league. So we'll see. I'm hoping I can get away with it. But at the end of the day, I did my wild card last week. Only went for 1 City, and now it looks like a big mistake. Lacazette down. I couldn't. I mean, the Lacazette injury would let me get De Bruyne out, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't want to make too many transfers this week. I feel like there's going to be a rotation. I don't want to. After one bad game week, I don't want to suddenly alter this team too much. You're implying that City will come back with a vengeance. I think I'm implying the opposite. That's what I'm saying. They got 2 tough games. The games could be tight, and the way they lost was completely draining. So yeah, let's hope I can get away with it, but probably not. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne against Spurs was just a one-man machine. He was obviously Sterling, Aguero, and whatever, played great. But De Bruyne was amazing, like back to his best, which is interesting because he said he won't be back to his best when he came back. You think DFA was at least involved in both games, trained all last week and wasn't risked against Arsenal? I know, but I mean, that's frustrating. It's frustrating what Grassi has said because he hasn't said he's ready to play, basically. He's saying they're going to check on him. And you're right, he could just be trying to hold his cards to his chest and not give too much away. But it's pretty frustrating as someone who could have gone for Redmond. And I kind of went against my own advice with that because I looked at the fixtures, and Southampton's fixtures were better for the running. I think I said that on the Scoutcast. I preferred Southampton mids to Watford ones. Obviously, Watford had a better double game week in 35, which is why I went for him in the end. But now he might not even play. And if there is going to be rotation for like game week 36, 37, 38, then having Redmond on the bench with with Southampton's fixtures could be decent enough. But I don't know if I want to take a -4 to switch DFA to Redmond, because I just think Newcastle away and Watford away, not the greatest fixtures. I don't think for Southampton, even though they're playing well at the moment. I just don't think that those fixtures are that great. And then I'm relying on him from the bench in other game weeks. So I think a -4, that just smells of coming back to bite me, I think. So I'm probably going to stick as I am. I don't know if I'm going to do Dunk to Laporte. I'm probably going to swap Dunk out. I'm probably going to use my free transfer to get rid of him. But I don't know if I'm going to go for Laporte now. Obviously, for anyone who watched the last stream, I left enough money in the bank to allow myself to do that. But I'm considering going someone cheaper and keeping money in the bank just for a bit of flexibility later on if I need it. Not so much because he might be dropped. Of course, that's a possibility, but I don't. I think that's. I don't know. That wouldn't concern me too much. I don't think. Am I scared of Sterling? Yeah, absolutely. Look how good he's been. If I could get him in one move, I would. In fact, I think I might be able to. Let's have a look. Oh no, I'm a bit short. Yeah, I'm 0.6 million short. Oh. Is Sanchez a threat to Martial's spot? I mean, no has to be the answer. You'd say that Martial is first choice. But at the end of the day, Man United are not playing well at the moment. Something needs to change. Will Sanchez be given a go? I mean, I'm not sitting here. I know I joke about him a lot on Twitter and stuff. I'm not sitting here saying we should bring Sanchez in. But if he got a start at some point over the next 2-3 games, I wouldn't be that shocked, I don't think. And it'd probably be from the left. You switched captaincy from Kevin De Bruyne to Son at the last minute with De Bruyne as your vice captain. Son coming on did not only prevent my De Bruyne haul, but 9-pointer Bolly was on your bench. Ouch. Look, you still did better than those of us that captained Duffy at least. Is Mora better than Ericsson with Sissoko out? Possibly. I mean, Ericsson could drop back. It depends whether the other midfielders are going to come back, I guess. The ones that are out. Moira doesn't necessarily play every game. I do think that is their best attack when they've got Son, Ali, Ericsson and Moira when Kane's out. Obviously, Llorente could play up front, and he might do. And they could drop Moira and just play the normal... the normal three that play behind Kane. Or they could even put Moira into one of... They could drop Ericsson and play Son, Ali, Moira behind Llorente potentially. And I guess we're going to see rotation, right? But you'd expect that Ericsson, Son and Ali start most of the games. Just tuning in, have you already discussed what to do with Duffy and Dunk? Have you considered not bench boosting this week and triple captain instead? So I'm going to bench boost. I don't have triple captain though, so that does come into play for me. I've thought about delaying the bench boost, but for me, it just means I'm playing Duffy and Dunk against Newcastle at home instead of playing them... Well, I'm not going to have Dunk anyway. So it's playing Duffy against Wolves and Tottenham, or taking a chance that he can get a clean sheet against Newcastle. And potentially there's more points in the Newcastle game. But then, Foster, this is Watford's decent double game week. And Lloris has good fixtures, but then he's got that Brighton game in the double anyway. Obviously, if I wait till next week, everyone's got single game weeks anyway. Mane has Cardiff this week. So that's decent enough. And then Bednarak, I'm not expecting too many points. So for me, I'm just going to go for it. And have Duffy will probably be on my bench, and I'll probably trade Dunk out to someone. I'm not really sure who, though. I'm tempted to just take a punt on Kolasinac, even though I know there's a good chance he doesn't play both games, but they're pretty decent enough games. Obviously, I can't get a Spurs defender in, maybe another Watford defender, potentially, but I feel like that might be a bit of a trap. I'm not sure. Path, thanks very much for that. You're playing your wild card. Go for Sterling, Sané, Son, Pogba, Aguero, Wilson, Jimenez. Are you playing wild card this week? Robertson, Van Dijk. I mean, double Liverpool defence. In fact, yeah, that's one thing I've considered actually, going double Liverpool defence, but it stops me getting Salah. And I don't know what to do about Salah right now. Does Aguero to Aubameyang and Salah to De Bruyne make sense? Can you not just get Salah to De Bruyne anyway? Is Salah not more expensive? Oh no, 9.3, 9.7. I'm not sure about Aguero to Aubameyang, to be honest. I would like to get De Bruyne in ahead of Sané though. So I don't know who you could change there. Maybe Van Dijk to Trent potentially. But I'm not sure about Aguero to Aubameyang. Yeah, so I have considered doing Dunk to a Liverpool defender, having double Liverpool defence, but I don't know what people are thinking about Salah, but obviously he has scored a couple now. I know he's very expensive, and to be honest, I'll probably just captain Mane next week. But I just wonder, will a double Liverpool attack be good enough? Do I want to get Firmino in, maybe? Is sticking with Lindelof a potential disaster? I mean, he's nailed. I don't know how many points they're going to get over the double. I don't think it's a disaster to keep him, though. How do I not have Salah or Sterling? I know. Poor show, right? Now Gomez is back. Trent might be rotated. Potentially, yeah. I mean, Trent's played pretty good. Obviously, there was that game when Milner came on for him, but he's played pretty good for most of the season. Gomez is only just back. Liverpool doing really well recently. Will they massively change the side up and put Gomez in? I mean, he could come in for the odd game, but you'd imagine it would just be maybe one game before the end of the season, probably. I don't know. What stops me from captaining Aguero? I don't know if I'm going to captain Jimenez, to be honest. Be interesting to know what you guys are doing. I just worry about Wolves. You know, how much has that FA Cup semi-final affected them? But Brighton at home and Arsenal at home is pretty decent. So I just can't bring myself to captain Aguero because it is 2 top 6 games. I know he's great, and I know he's got penalties, and I guess we have seen him score hat-tricks against top 6 teams. I kind of like Son as well after last night, but I just don't think there's going to be as much space for them again, like there was in the Champions League. Brighton game looks great though. Yes, as people are saying in the chat, go and vote on the polls if you haven't already. Top right hand corner, click the little eye. There's 4 polls altogether, so make sure you vote on them. Lacazette's off, subbed, I assume. Let me see. I mean, no one's saying he's injured, so I assume not. Jesus, is it 4-3 to Chelsea? Wow. They're letting 3 goals at home. Am I in striking distance to win the FPL mod leagues? I guess you mean the Scoutcast, like the Fantasy Football Scout one. I'm 6th, but I am 27, 67, 72 points behind Mark. There is no way I catch that up. Mark knows what he's doing. Cheers, Path. I'd say you've probably got another question though, haven't you? And you forgot to fill it in. He was subbed off early last week against Napoli, but still didn't play it. I know. Trust me, I know. So, I'm going to keep him. I think I have to. Unless he's injured. If he's injured, what do I do if he's injured? Do you know what? I'd be tempted to do if he was injured. I'm not even joking here. Bear with me. Let me just see if it's possible with the money I have. Although it potentially mean keeping Dunk, which I don't like the sound of. Oh my god, yeah, it would work. be tempted to go Shane Long in and just hope he plays one of the games. And then Sterling in for Deofeu. 4-point hit. Then maybe keep Dunk or use an 8-pointer to get rid of Dunk. But that's only if he's injured, and I don't think he is. So probably just keep him. It makes no sense to captain Jota over Jimenez. I wouldn't say it makes no sense. I mean, Jota's been in pretty good form, especially at home. Look, Shane Long, what do you mean? What the actual... I mean, I don't know what WTA... Oh, yeah, what the actual... I thought it was a T, not an F. I mean, 2 goals in the last 2 games. The man is on fire. He's on fire. But, I mean, yeah, Ings could just play both games. What's up, Howard Wallowitz? Thanks very much. Deeney to Wilson and Doherty to Bolly for a -4. Do you need the... I'm trying to think now what their prices are. I mean, do you need Doherty to Bolly to fund that? I assume you do. I don't know about that. I mean, Wilson's got Fulham, so it could be decent enough. Bolly does have goal threat. If you have to fund it like that, then yeah, I suppose that's not the worst way to do it. There's just something about transferring one player from the team to another from the same team in double game week I just don't like the sound of. I can't remember how much Deeney is. Is he 6.1? 5.9. Ouch. You could just go for a straight punt on a Southampton attack forward. I get that. Probably not the most inspired move. I'm not Irish, but I think you pronounce it Doherty. Johnny, I have got Sterling fear too. How can you not? And De Bruyne. Seriously. Signing for Pogba. I mean, Pogba has penalties. Look what happened against West Ham. But I mean, the good thing about Son is he can't play in the first Champions League semi-final because he's suspended. So you'd imagine he'll probably play both of the next games. Probably. Could still get a rest because they're going to need him for the second leg. But all Pogba needs is a couple of penalties and he's back in it. But Man United are not looking good at the moment. So without penalties, I'm not sure he's going to score that many points. Yeah, Llorente's a good shout if you've not got triple Spurs already, Mr. Howard Wallowitz. You can't just write his surname and say that's how it's pronounced. Hey, Path, you're back again. Thanks very much. You can just put your questions in chat, by the way. You don't have to keep using super chats. Although I get that they're easier to see. Sané or De Bruyne? I mean, it's got to be De Bruyne, right? He's more likely to play, and he looks brilliant at the moment. And that's over the rest of the season. Not obviously in the double game week there could be rotation. Sané's been pretty rested, so he could play. But I think De Bruyne for sure. Pogba or Martial? I mean, probably still Pogba because you know he's going to get 90 minutes and he's on penalties. I think Martial's a pretty good differential though. Is Liverpool field a must given I go... I mean, it's Cardiff away and Huddersfield at home. I would definitely want the Liverpool midfielder personally. I'm not going to get into best 11 this week because I think that's something you really have to give some thought to, and it's pretty difficult to do on a stream because I just put something together and I won't have put too much thought in it. But if I look at my team as it is now, the biggest things I would want to improve on is I'd probably want another Liverpool player. And I'd probably want at least one Man City player, someone like De Bruyne. Or Sterling, or both. Or maybe even De Bruyne and Sterling and not Aguero, to be honest. So that's kind of where I'd start from. But it sounds like you're on kind of the right track. Yeah, exactly, Brad. That's exactly how it's pronounced. Job done. Yeah, I think if I was wildcarding this week, I think Sterling, De Bruyne. I mean, I know what will happen if I drop Aguero, though. He'll go mental. But Sterling and De Bruyne, Son, Mane, Robertson, plus probably another Liverpool defender. I think I'd probably go without Salah, although you are fully blocked once you do that without taking hits. So you don't really want to do that. Probably Foster. Redmond is my backup midfielder if going 3-4-3. What's my thought process between giving... I mean, to be honest with you, I've just not changed the vice captain yet. That's all. I probably would stick it on Aguero or Son ahead of Lacazette, because out of Aguero, Son, Lacazette, I'm not really massively confident on any of them playing like really good minutes in both games, so I'd probably just go for Son and hope he plays the Brighton game. Triple captain Aguero or Jimenez this week, or wait for Huddersfield to go to Anfield. Single game week option could be just as good. I think with Jimenez, it really depends whether you think Wolves, because it's only been like what, one game since the it's only been one game since the FA Cup semi-final, and it was against a good Southampton team. So I don't think we can suddenly say that Wolves are just on the beach or just are playing poor. And I do think Brighton, 5 goals in 5 games at home and then 7 in 2. They're looking pretty poor right now, and it is worrying for them, and that pressure is going to get to them. And I know people will say they're fighting for their lives, but at the end of the day, they're near the relegation for a reason, right? And they've just lost 2-0 to Cardiff. So I think there's good points there, and I think Arsenal, Arsenal are definitely a team that can be scored against, even though they're a top 6 team. We've seen that plenty of times. So I still think I prefer Jimenez to Aguero. But it's a bit like last week. When we captained Duffy, I did say that if it went wrong, we would look really stupid. And we would actually say to ourselves, well, yeah, you did captain a Brighton defender. And I think the same might happen this week if I captain Jimenez and Aguero is nuts. I'd be like, well, Aguero is the best striker in the league. Of course he did well. So I'm currently on Jimenez, so I guess if I was triple captain, I'd probably do the same. But I think Aguero is perfectly good as well. Yeah, Son, you'd imagine, will rotate a bit less because of that first game he misses, at least for the next couple of games. Don't forget, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you vote on the polls and hit a like on the stream if you haven't already. What is this web address thing? Not sure what you mean, to be honest. It's a double for Aguero. You have to go with him. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll swap it before the game week comes around. But I mean, Jimenez has been so good, right? I'm definitely considering the Son captain, yeah, because I do think there's a good chance he plays twice. Like pointed out in the stream chat, not playing that first semi-final could be huge. How long have I been on? About half an hour. You spent 100 points in your 4K. Nice. I mean, I've said it a lot of times. My best season was just inside the top 5K, and I took 96 points worth of hits. It's probably one of the most I've taken. Yeah, the problem with considering Lacazette captain, because he came off early, as someone pointed out in the chat earlier, he came off early in the last game and then didn't play next time. So there's no guarantee. I think it's tough with him. I think he probably is first choice at the moment. Yeah, if Laporte plays both games, it could be big points, because I do think that these games are going to be tight. I kind of... Last couple of weeks, people have talked about Mendy, and I kind of wrote him off. And I think for good reason. He just felt like too much of a risk, but he is starting now and looking good again. So yeah, I like him. For Mendy, for me... actually, I don't know if I can afford him. Let me see. I don't think so. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh no, I can afford him actually. Mendy. Yeah, because he's the same price as Laporte. That's pretty tempting actually. But I probably won't get him, and I'll probably just see if he doesn't need to, if he plays the next 2 games. And if he's looking like he's going to start starting every game again, like for 36, 37, 30, yeah, I might look at bringing him in. I don't know. For me, it just feels a bit risky to get him in this week. Obviously, he played 90 against Crystal Palace, and then he played against Spurs in the Champions League. I suppose the only thing is, yeah, Delph is fit, right? I don't think Delph is injured. Well, he hasn't played much. And Zinchenko, I mean, he's got a muscle injury according to FPL, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if he's back. Yeah, I mean, Mendy could play every game now. It's potentially something that could happen. Oh man, I'm tempted to get him now. I forgot he was the same price. As Laporte. Is that just trying to be too clever though? Because I mean, Laporte, double game week hero. Mendy. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I hadn't really considered him. I'm gonna use one free transfer to get rid of Dunk, yeah. Cheers, Peter. You think I should bin Duffy for Mendy? I mean, surely I bin Dunk first though, right? Duffy's at least got a bit of goal for it. Don't forget I'm bench boosting. Dunk is on the bench. What tricks have you got up your sleeve to break into the top 10k? It's a good question. I mean, I'm quite risk adverse. So one thing I would think about is also not losing too much rank. But I think at this point, I mean, my plan right now is... So, itchy back. Plan right now is to use the bench boost, not panic too much about how bad Game Week 34 was. And just remember that points are still quite close together in like the top 10, top 20k. So a good week could see me get back close to 10k. So I'm hoping the bench boost will bring me back up. I'm not expecting mega points if I'm honest, but it's also a double game week and I've got a team almost full of double game week players. So I've just got to hope something big comes. Obviously a lot of other people in the top 10k will be doing similar. I think I'll wait and see for this week and I'll have to reconsider. Maybe Mendy over Laporte is the way to do it. What do I see then? Gray or Llorente? I'm really not sure about Gray. I mentioned on the video, the preview I did yesterday, I've been watching a few of the kind of people on Twitter that support Watford, like who also play FPL, and a lot of them are saying that. Now, it might be slightly different now because Gray has done okay recently and he has started playing as kind of the second striker with Deeney. But a lot of the times when Deeney misses out, success comes in. So Gray could still play, but if Delafeu was back, then he could play with success potentially. So I don't know about Gray, and I think if you're bringing them in and it's just for this week, i.e. they're going to be your 8th attacker who you'll bench most weeks, I think I'd be tempted to go Llorente. I think last night they started without Llorente, and obviously there is going to probably be a bit of rotation, but I think Son's going to play, and Moria's not played that much, so he could play as well. So maybe Llorente missed out, but then he might play against Brighton, which would be the better game. And he has looked alright, to be fair, for 5.1 million. You know, he could have had... well, he scored against Man City, obviously, but he could have had another goal. I can't remember it. I think it was a header. And against Huddersfield, there could have been more points. Success and Gray will start. DFA will be fit for the bench. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just guessing, to be honest. BT commentator mentioned Llorente looked absolutely knackered. Yeah, fair point, actually. I suppose he's come from not playing at all to playing 2 games in a row. So yeah, he could be knackered. But again, maybe he misses the Man City game, which is the tougher one, then plays against Brighton, potentially. I don't know. I think with Gray and Llorente, you can't really know. I mean, I've got a poll for it, so it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. But I'd probably go for Llorente. But I suppose if you think there's a chance Gray plays both games, they do play Huddersfield. And at least the Southampton game is at home. I don't think Decore plays just behind the forwards. No, he's more like a CM. I think. I mean, there is a Watford fan, Joe, in the chat. I think he plays like a CM, but he does get forward. See, Joe, who is a Watford fan, is going success, which is interesting. It's quite interesting, the triple captain, because people will say, oh, who's the triple captain this week? But, I mean, you must have chosen the captain. So you got to think, are you happy to triple captain them? I mean, you shouldn't change the triple captain thoughts, because, I mean, if you don't want to triple captain the person you're thinking of captaining, then maybe they're not the greatest captain. Maybe that should tell you all you need to know about whether you play it this week or not. If that makes sense. I can't do Eriksen to Sterling now. I'm like 0.6 million off. Gut feeling, who would I pick, Long or Ings? I mean, if we're completely honest, if they're both fit, Ings is probably the first choice. But Long does offer them, I won't say goals, because it doesn't really offer them goals. Although he has scored 2 in the last 2, but he just offers that out ball and stretches his defence. He's got a bit of pace behind him. He's not like Sané or Sterling quick, but he's quick enough. I think in the way that Southampton are trying to play where they press, that could be pretty helpful. But Ings is probably the better striker who's going to score you more goals. So do you think he's probably more likely to start? So I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably go Ings. But I don't know if there's... I think there's a bit of chance that he plays one of the games, maybe. The thing with Ings is he's so injury prone. 2 and 2 for Shane Long, though. Seriously, come on. Aguero or Sterling for the rest of the season. Like, if I could change now, I would go Sterling. I feel like I messed up there, but I mean, Aguero's not a bad pick, right? I mean, the man, the best striker in the league. Lukaku, stick or twist? Good question. Stick, probably. This is my last chip. Yep, no triple captain. I am done. If Long doesn't start, but if he comes on, yeah, probably. Almost certainly. VTMPI Soccer, thanks very much. Davern and Vardy out for Ings and De Bruyne. Vardy didn't score in the last game, did he? Who they even play? I can't remember. They're away, aren't they? Away to West Ham. Then they got 3 top six games. I know he's the top 6 killer, but seriously. For Ings and De Bruyne, though. I get it because you want De Bruyne. If that's for free, I can maybe get behind it. If it's for a hit, I'm not sure. Not sure. Joe, everyone's asking you questions. Everyone wants a bit of Watford this week. Now you know how I feel like. Apart from I bring this on myself, of course. Do you know what? I gotta be honest. People keep mentioning Mendy. I really want to go for him now. I'd like to thank whoever put that into my head. Hit for a good bench boost. I mean, maybe a -4, yeah, but I guess it depends who you're bringing in. But yeah, potentially. How would I fit Mendy in? I'd just do dunk to Mendy. I've got enough cash to do it. Path, you're back again. How is it going? Is Gomez too much of a risk? I mean, if you're talking about putting Gomez in your fantasy team, it's got to be too much of a risk. There's no guarantee that he plays. He's just come back from injury. They've been doing really well without him. They don't need him. As great as he was at the start of the season, yes, he probably is the best defender they have to go next to Van Dijk. I just don't think Klopp is going to start messing about that centre-back partnership right now. Now, there is a chance he plays, of course, to provide cover and provide a bit of a rest, rotation, etc. But to put him into your wild card, no, not for me. Mendy. The Mendy over Laporte move is like Keane over Lucas Dean. It's not though, is it? Because let's be honest, if you thought they were both going to start week in, week out, you'd go for Mendy, wouldn't you? Surely. Christian, it was you that put Mendy in my head. So you have to play the best team, which is Mendy if fit. If you play a bench boost, you will get points. I mean, yeah, but I'd also get points for Laporte for playing bench boost. City will concede. I mean, that's not a great reason to bring in one of the defenders then. But Mendy can get points, true. Great haircut. I mean, I've not had my haircut for weeks. This is awful. I mean, look, I'm an old man now, just receding hair. It's even worse now. But it's being cut on Saturday, so we're all good. Mendy's got his place back for sure. Mendy didn't look good the other night. I mean, I only caught the second half of that game yesterday, so I was a bit annoyed actually that I missed the first half. I was making the preview video. I was like, I've not seen the Spurs Man City results, so I don't know what's going to happen. Really clear on most of the points. I know, not all of them, Path. I'm sorry. Good luck though. Just try and chill out with the wild card, and that's what I did. And look how badly it went. Actually, maybe don't do that. Who would have thought last week that Andre Gray would be so talked about? Sub Duffy, DFO for Mane and Bednar. I can see if you still use your bench boost. I mean, I definitely would. Basically. Oh man, so tired. Don't forget to vote on the polls, by the way, if you haven't already. We'll go through them soon. Real soon. Hazard captain. I have to keep reminding myself who they're playing. These single game week options. Burnley, yeah, it could be an okay choice. I guess he's not being talked about because most people don't own him now, I'd imagine, because of the Liverpool Man United games. But yeah, I think against Burnley could be a nice option if you want a single game week player. Count out the Michael Keane points. Oh, I see, because he's not been playing. 6-6-6-1-1, 6-6-6-6-6-6. Who do I want to come up from the Championship? I don't know who's coming up, to be honest. Leeds got a chance, right? Are Leeds already up? I just don't follow it. I always worry about that once it happens, and I need to figure out who I need in my team. But I don't tend to go for promoted players, but we'll see. I went for Jota this week. We want whoever will be the new Fulham. There's always going to be one. The news with DFO, I think, is that he's trained all week. But we don't know if he's going to start. That's basically it. I mean, Redmond versus Ward-Prowse, for me, feels like set pieces versus open play threat. Which one do you prefer? I mean, I personally prefer Redmond, I think. He's getting into good positions. He's getting good chances. His expected goals are pretty decent. I do have some concerns over his finishing ability, but he's just scored 2 goals in one game. And at least one of them, from what I can remember, was a really nice finish. So that's what I'll be looking at. I think Jota, honestly, is a really nice differential captain option if you think he's going to play twice. City getting knocked out should mean no more Pep Roulette. Wouldn't go that far. But you're right, they should play most of their first 11 more often than not now, you'd imagine. But obviously they've got a double game week now, so they might rotate a bit. People are being a bit over the top, I thought, on Twitter with Brighton. I mean, legit, like, saying they hope they go down, etc., just because of Shane Duffy. It seems a little bit over the top, if I'm honest. I mean, I could get Bolly in. Double Wolves defense. Oh no, I can't actually triple up on Wolves. Never mind. I'm an idiot. Right, I'm going to do the polls. If you haven't already voted, it's too late. It's too late. I mean, yeah, 7 goals conceded, but to then want them to go down. All right. So your game week 35 captain Jimenez is winning 43%. 21% for Sterling, so he's second favourite. 15% Aguero, only 10% for Son, so a bit of a differential maybe. 8% going for someone else, but Jimenez is currently everyone's captain, or most people's captain. Best Deeney replacement, 40% saying Wilson. Fulham at home up next, looks really good. 18% for Gray, 18% for Llorente, only 7% for Ings, and then 15% saying going for someone else. So Wilson looking like a bit of a favourite there. Is it worth taking Brighton defenders out for a hit? 61% of you think yes. So even for a hit, you're just hating those Brighton defenders. Get rid of them, they are awful. And are you taking a hit this week? 47% of you are taking a hit, -4. Surprised it's that high actually. I guess Deeney has caused a lot of problems. 28% just not taking any hits at all. 17% with a -8, that's pretty high. 4% on a -12 apparently, and then 1% of you taking free hit or wild card. So get rid of those Brighton players. Captain Jimenez, Wilson for Deeney, and just take a hit. Why not? I think the thing with Jimenez, it's not the same as Duffy, I don't think. And for a lot of people, like we kind of mentioned Jimenez before this game week. It's not like he's just been thought about. Would I bother doing Eriksen to De Bruyne? I've thought about it, but I just can't. I'd be taking out someone with at least one good fixture against someone who's potentially got 2 bad ones. Although I know how good De Bruyne is, and obviously Eriksen could get rotated now. So he played a lot of minutes. But would I do it this week? Probably not. Just hope that Eriksen plays that Brighton game. Not much between Aguero and Sterling, so it's really 40% for a City attacker, yeah? Yep. I'd be a bit surprised if Wolves lost both games, if I'm honest. But again, I don't know how they're going to keep reacting after this semi-final. No one knows, right? It's only been one game. Goro, thanks very much. Members area, this is on Fantasy Football Scout. Shows, I assume, shows a points projected as 17 points for my bench. Is 17 good enough to use it? Have you checked yours? I've not checked mine, no. I mean, I guess the question is, how much does yours show for the next 4 game weeks? Because you've got to use it before the season's out, right? So I can't imagine there's too many more weeks with higher than 17 points. I could quickly check mine now. It's probably not much higher, to be honest. I mean, 17 points seems okay. I mean, that's 4 points minimum, you know, if you include appearance points. Although I've got Mane benched. Although realistically, I'd probably, at this point, because I'm not sure if he's going to play, I'd probably bench DFO. So something like that. So you're basically getting 1 extra point on top of the appearance points, and obviously you're hoping for a bit more than that. So I don't think 17 is that bad, really. I mean, you can't be expecting miracles out of this. So if I say mine, so I'm going to bench Lloris, 7 points. Bench DFO, 7 points, 14. Dunk, 4 points, 21. Bednarak, 4 points, 25. Decent. That'll do me. I'd love 25 points off of that. Even if I said Mane instead of DFO, it's not that much difference. Captain Shane Long, serious question. That's not a serious question. Come on. Captaincy's a key part in FPL of having a good season. Really think you failed it this year. Will be improved next year. I mean, we all hope we're going to improve captaincy. It's not that easy, unfortunately. But yeah, captaincy is a big part of the game. Captain Duffy, why not? Why not? He'll redeem himself with a couple of goals this game week, I'm sure. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I am absolutely wrecked. Before I go, shout out to the patrons: Dean P, Madcheck, Gaz H, Melissa B, Tim W, Jansky, Scott S, Christopher M, Hayden H, and Matthew H. Thanks very much for the support. If you want to check it out for the last month, the links are in the description below. There will be another league for May. Obviously, it'll only be a couple of game weeks, but if you want to get involved, check out the link in the description below. And last question from Path, another one. Best under 5 million, have Robertson and Doherty. Oh god, 5 million defenders. I'd probably go for a Watford defender because of the fixtures off the top of my head. If you think they're going to keep clean sheet, I think Huddersfield and Southampton's pretty good. Pretty good option. If you want to take a punt, if you've got 5 million, then I think Kolasinac is 5 million. There you go, Cathcart in the chat. Let me see how much. Yeah, Kolasinac is 5. Could be an option. The only thing with Kiko, Kiko Femenia, he's been playing, right? Yeah. Well, they only played 58 minutes, but is Yanmat not a problem there? Oh, he's been playing too. So where's Kiko playing then? Has he been playing out of position again? Anyway, there's some options in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I will be streaming again. Oh, God, it's another hot... I tell you what, it's really annoying at the end of the season when you have these late finishes in the week on Wednesday and then the next deadline's on Friday. I'll probably stream on the Wednesday and do the preview on the Thursday. So yeah, next stream won't be for like another week, 6 days. So yeah, I will catch you soon. Catch you on Wednesday. Good luck. Hopefully this double game week is much better than the next one. The only transfer I can see myself doing now is Dunk to Mendy.